You think you know the people around you, the ones you trust, the ones your children admire, the ones who seem ordinary. But sometimes, ordinary is just a mask. In the quiet town of Millhaven, life moved slowly. School bells rang, lawns were meticulously kept, and neighbors waved from behind white picket fences. It was a place where everyone knew everyone else, where trust was the invisible glue holding the community together. And for years, one man thrived in that trust, a man named Victor Hall. Victor was charismatic, friendly, always helpful. Parents praised him at PTA meetings. Students sought him out for advice. He was the teacher everyone wanted their child to have. His classroom was bright, welcoming, a space of safety and encouragement. To the outside world, he was perfection personified, but appearances, as it often happens, were deceiving. It began subtly. A student reported a strange message on their phone. A parent noticed Victor asking odd, intrusive questions during a school event. Notes were found in lockers that didn't make sense, cryptic, suggestive, manipulative. Alone, each incident seemed minor, perhaps even imagined, but a pattern started to emerge, one that would unravel the illusion of safety in Millhaven. Victor had learned early how to observe. He watched students, noting fears, secrets, vulnerabilities. He studied parents, understanding their hopes and weaknesses. With this knowledge, he operated with the precision of a chess master. Every word, every action, carefully calculated to manipulate, control, and dominate. Over months, even years, the scale of his manipulation became clear. Students were isolated from friends. Confidences were stolen and used to control. Parents found themselves questioning their own instincts. The community's trust, the very foundation that made Millhaven feel safe, was weaponized against them. The story that emerged during the investigation was chilling. Messages were sent at night, disguised as innocent texts or reminders. Emails were drafted to appear as mistakes or miscommunications, and always there was the subtle intimidation, an undercurrent that left students anxious, fearful, and silent. Those who tried to speak were met with disbelief or subtle threats. The power Victor held was invisible, yet undeniable. When the first public accusations surfaced, the town was shocked. Interviews revealed how deeply Victor had embedded himself into the lives of the people around him. Families described sleepless nights, obsessive worry, and a growing sense that something was terribly wrong. Psychologists dissected his methods, the grooming, the manipulation, the strategic isolation. Every detail painted a portrait of a man who had studied trust and weaponized it. Court proceedings brought a new dimension of tension. Students testified, parents confronted him, the town listened. Victor remained calm, almost smug, as if he were still conducting the perfect experiment. He never raised his voice, never broke character. Even when presented with irrefutable evidence, he maintained the illusion of the harmless, helpful teacher. For him, this was another layer of control, proving that even scrutiny could be managed. Behind the scenes, investigators uncovered the full extent of his manipulation. Digital footprints revealed secret accounts and anonymous messages. Family histories were exploited, peer relationships twisted into traps. He had built a network of fear, obedience, and silence, not through overt violence, but through the invisible hands of psychological mastery. As the trial progressed, the community grappled with mixed emotions: relief, rage, sorrow, disbelief. Parents wept as they recounted how their children had been targeted. Students spoke of the confusion, betrayal, and lingering fear. Psychologists emphasized the long-term impact on mental health and development. And yet, despite all evidence, Victor Hall never seemed to feel remorse. To him, every action was just part of a larger game, a demonstration of intellect and control. The verdict, when it came, was a moment of collective exhale. He was convicted, sentenced, and taken away. The town tried to heal. Families slowly rebuilt their lives. Students learned to trust again, cautiously, with the awareness that evil often wears a mask. And Millhaven would never forget the man who hid behind the smile of a perfect teacher. Because sometimes, the most dangerous people are the ones you never suspect, the ones who exist in the light of normalcy, blending seamlessly into the fabric of daily life. The ones who make you question everything you thought you knew about trust, safety, and the people around you. And so, Millhaven learned a lesson that no one forgets. Evil does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits patiently, studies quietly, and strikes from the shadow of trust. Victor's control was not sudden. It was slow, imperceptible, like water wearing down stone. Students didn't notice at first. Parents trusted him implicitly. Colleagues admired him. But by the time small signals appeared, a late-night message here, an odd comment there, the damage had already begun. He chose his victims carefully. Those who were shy, vulnerable, or seeking approval were his targets. It started with subtle praise, a compliment that seemed innocent but planted a seed of dependency. "You're very talented. You have so much potential." And with that, a student would start confiding, sharing fears, secrets, small admissions that were harmless on their own, but to Victor, they were the tools of control. He monitored their social media. He learned their routines. He used information against them, sometimes subtly, sometimes overtly. A message sent at the wrong time, a rumor quietly spread, a parent misled to prevent intervention. Everything was calculated, every reaction, every fear, every hesitation. Some students began to withdraw. Teachers noticed changes. Once vibrant students became anxious, reserved, hesitant. Parents wondered, tried to reach out, but Victor deflected questions, offering plausible explanations that sounded perfectly reasonable. It was almost impossible to pin down what he was doing. By the time the first formal complaint arrived, there were multiple victims, all afraid to speak. They had been silenced by fear, shame, and the subtle grip of Victor's manipulation. And when the complaint reached authorities, Victor Hall's careful network of influence came into play. Parents who initially spoke out found themselves doubting their instincts. Students recanted statements out of intimidation or confusion. It was a system of psychological pressure, invisible yet terrifyingly effective. The journalist investigating the story spent months piecing together fragments of evidence, digital messages, anonymized confessions, interviews with students and parents. Every lead brought more questions, but slowly a pattern became clear. Victor's manipulations were systematic, strategic, and merciless. He had mastered the art of trust and weaponized it. During interviews with the victims' families, the emotional toll was evident. Mothers described sleepless nights, obsessive worry, and the crushing realization that someone they trusted with their children had been exploiting them. Fathers admitted to feelings of guilt. How could they not have seen it? Teachers and friends felt betrayed. The entire town seemed to be grappling with disbelief, rage, and sorrow. Victor himself was a study in contrasts. Publicly, he remained calm, courteous, almost charming. In private, through the recovered messages and evidence, he revealed a man who calculated every step, predicting reactions, manipulating emotions, and enjoying the sense of invisible power. Psychologists described him as highly intelligent, emotionally detached, and supremely manipulative. The kind of person who could hide evil in plain sight for years. The trial brought the community together in unexpected ways. Students testified, recounting subtle manipulations that had made them anxious, withdrawn, or afraid. Parents gave moving accounts of their children's experiences. Expert witnesses detailed the psychological impact and the calculated nature of Victor's methods. The courtroom became a theater of tension, each testimony layering more evidence against the carefully maintained facade. As the prosecution built its case, Victor's strategy remained constant: silence, calm, minimal reaction. He never raised his voice, never lost composure. Every time the court revealed new evidence, he responded with measured precision, reinforcing the unnerving sense of control that had defined his behavior for so long. Even in the face of overwhelming proof, his demeanor unnerved the courtroom, a chilling demonstration of a predator at work. Outside the courtroom, the town began to process the events. Families sought therapy, students found counseling, the school revised policies and procedures, but the psychological scars remained. Trust had been shattered, and the lesson was profound. Appearances could not be trusted. Evil could hide behind the most familiar and reassuring faces. By the time the verdict was announced, Victor Hall was convicted on multiple counts. The sentence was long, comprehensive, and deserved.
Yet despite the outcome, the story lingered. Millhaven had been changed forever. The journalist reflected on the case, understanding that the most powerful stories are not always about the crimes themselves, but about the impact, the silent fear, the manipulated trust, the shattered lives. Because sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones you never suspect, the ones who exist in the light of normalcy, blending seamlessly into the fabric of daily life, the ones who make you question everything you thought you knew about trust, safety, and the people around you. And so, Millhaven learned a lesson that no one forgets. Evil does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits patiently, studies quietly, and strikes from the shadow of trust.